Spiros Kyriacopoulos from the organizing committee of OpenConf 2022, a major technology event that focuses on leading-edge tech topics and which is going to be held at the Megaro Musikis of Athens on December 2nd and 3rd. With us today, we have Konstantinos Stavropoulos, who is one of the speakers at this year's conference. Konstantinos has over 25 years of mobile network experience, which spans from PhD research and professional roles in many and diverse areas, from antenna array systems research and network planning to optimization consultancy and innovation software solution products. Currently, he manages the automation-related product capabilities of TEOCO, the asset suite of the company, focusing on asset design in particular. So, Konstantinos, welcome to OpenConf.
Hi, Spiros. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm good. How are you?
Okay, great. Really excited to have you on board with us this year.
Thank you.
So anyway, would you have such an experience on mobile networks research and development, as well as on business production environments? Would you like to talk a bit more about yourself and your journey into mobile network technologies over the years?
In brief, I actually liked, as far as I can remember myself, I liked maths at school. So that led me to something which was maths related, which was engineering. That led to the research afterwards, which was something that I did enjoy. And then gradually, if you want, my getting bored symptoms started always showing up. So after research, I wanted to do something more tangible, real world. So I went into the industry, started being a consultant. Then the software development, product management opportunity came up. And then, all the different roles. And again, in some cases, because I just wanted to do something, new and work on innovative solutions. And in some cases that I got into technical marketing as well. In other cases, something that I do enjoy much more, the hands-on software product development, and for mobile networks all the time. I haven't left this space.
That's really amazing. So you switched into many roles in this particular technology, and I guess you don't want to stay in a particular role for a long time. You like to change. You like to diversify. Experiment with new, roles and opportunities to get into different competencies in what you do, I guess, right?
It is like that, and perhaps it's a bit more difficult these days compared to when I started to switch from one company to another and do a different job every time. But I like what I do, or if you want, I love what I do. I want to be passionate about it, and if the passion dries away, then I want, I need to change. And in some cases, there are different roles inside the same company. In other cases, there are no such roles because you can't always have what you want, right? And then you move on, right? And
yes.
that's how it works.
Great. Very exciting. And of course, passion is always important. It's a critical factor to success. Everybody that gets into business knows how important it is to have a inner drive to go above the average and in order to achieve great results. So more power to you on that end. So,
well, I think for everyone, right? For everyone,
yes,
it's a big drive.
Of course, of course, absolutely. So, okay, so we have innovations, which are things that you enjoy, okay? And these innovations that drive technology from 5G to 6G that is coming and have a lot of challenges in terms of security, let's say, for example. How would you say that the transition from 5G to 6G handles that? What are the challenges of security?
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic because the security. I remember the discussion in the early years of my professional career. It was much more about the just people talking to each other, and that was that was a simple thing, if you want, and still challenging, and different methods were devised and upgraded all the time. But now with 5G, we started with 5G. In fact, we've started with the machines, with Internet of Things, much more than in the past. We've started with all the applications that are critical, where we need security. And we've started with many things that perhaps 5G will not fully accomplish. And perhaps the odd number mobile generation technology curse is going to come up. Curse being that, 3G didn't do it, 4G did it.
That's
5G will not do
interesting.
it, 6G will do it, right? I mean, it's a funny one, perhaps. Things we have been discussing, like, as I said, machine related, things which are critical applications, health related, that privacy has become a huge point for all of us.
Yes.
And even on the geopolitical domain, you see some concerns about security in the radio and core part of the networks. And it's going to be interesting to see how we can actually deal with this advanced security needs in the context of open architectures, of open networks, which we will see much more going from 5G to 6G, and with applications where we need network slicing, for example, where we need advanced security. So when I talk to you on the mobile, maybe we get a certain level of security, which should be acceptable. But when we have an application which is really critical and uses the mobile network, then it has to use that slice and get the right slice of the right security level, which is going to be much more advanced than you and I will get. So, let's see. I believe in the power of technology to achieve what we want. It's just that sometimes you need to be a bit more patient, right? So
Yes, of
perhaps not
course.
going to happen this year, next year, but with 6G coming into the fore, maybe we're going to get what we actually.
It's funny you mentioned security and how it affects, communications. And I was reading this article regarding intercepting communications between from the Ukraine side versus the Russians, and they were able to intercept communications from the mobile phones of the Russian soldiers. So,
Yeah.
and I found it intriguing to realize that there is the capability to intercept communications and be able to listen to it.
Yes, and
Even
in fact, in the early days, I think it was, I never tried it myself, and if I had, I wouldn't have to it, right? But it was really simple to eavesdrop in the early days. It
yeah,
wasn't that secure. We started with GSM, and we were saying that it's much more secure than other standards or 1G, whatever. But there were gaps, right? There were open doors, if you want. And gradually, we've seen this evolution to even more powerful encryption methods. But still, there are a lot of smart people out there, and
exactly. Yeah,
get into the system. And it's one of the reasons, perhaps, why, as with many other things, a lot of people talk about AI, ML, the artificial intelligence and machine learning use in this area too, so that you get something that is unbreakable, if you want. But of course, if we come up with something like that on this side, well, the guys on the other side will try to break whatever we do,
exactly.
maybe with the same methods, right?
Let's focus more now on the future trends of on mobile technology, and what are the challenges, let's say, of as Metaverse is getting closer. How do you see that developing with your experience? This vast experience that you have accumulated over the years.
Yeah, well, I've got this thing. I don't know, with different people how they act to fashionable terms, and I'm always a bit, cautious about new things. And metaverse is one of those things. It's a big thing. Don't get me wrong. It's a great thing, and we've been discussing effectively metaverse as part of 5G and the 5G vision, because we started talking about virtual reality and augmented reality. Perhaps this is one of the things that 5G will not be able to deliver. Maybe 5G advanced, or the evolution of 5G, or whatever we call it, maybe 6G. So the question is, for all these type of applications of, call it whatever, this metaverse and metaverse-like environments, apps, whatever you want to call it, will we get what we actually need in terms of the network characteristics required? Will we get the speed, the latency, the reliability, right? That sometimes we forget about. Reliability is a big thing in mobile networks and not frequently discussed. The security as well, right? As we said, that's a big thing. Can we get all of that together? That's a big challenge, right? I can do it. If even in the early days of 5G, I remember talking about things like hologram-based communication, augmented reality,
Wow.
virtual reality, and so on, and autonomous vehicles, right? And my thing has always been, well, all these are great, but will we see them by 2025? On a wide scale, because you're going to see autonomous vehicles. You already are in many parts of the world, but on a big scale by 2025, I don't know, right? So we may, again, it's getting closer, but it may be a bit longer than we expect.
Okay, so is it a bandwidth? Is it a technology of pushing more data over the over the wireless communication? What is the limiting factor here?
You're right. It's the pipe overall. That's the first thing that would give us the bandwidth. That's why we're discussing terahertz communications, right? We're going even higher up. And then the bandwidth you solve, let's say, and we can solve it. You get this. The latency we can address, but you have to bring things to the end user, right, as close as possible. And then the question is going to be the whole reliability thing. And maybe, again, as part of this concept of slicing, you get the ability to have something that performs above a certain level all the time. Because, we're talking about all these things and all, again, I'm going to talk, maybe mobile is a bit more difficult in my view, but I'm biased. You look at, fixed line. And sometimes, even in the UK or in Greece, you get very good speeds, but then for a couple of minutes, guess what? Problems. So the reliability thing goes out of the window.
Yeah.
That's not going to be acceptable, right? When we get into the metaverse and all these things.
Because to lose a few packets on a voice communication is, I guess, acceptable. But if you go into high definition exchange of visual representations, then you get into complex discussions, and obviously you need to be reliable on that end as well.
Yeah, and so one of the things that actually I believe in the convergence of different technologies. I love mobile technologies. I've worked on them much. Actually, my favorite is 3G, which has been a failure, but it was the very first one I worked on, and that's my favorite. But I like the convergence. The ability. We're talking about 5G and 6G. Where does Wi-Fi come into the picture? And okay, it's unlicensed spectrum and this and that, but it has to come into the picture. Where does anything else? The fiber, the infrastructure, that we don't see. All these together are going to help us do what what you've described as metaverse, as other applications. We need all of these together.
You're right. You're right. Wow, exciting stuff. Okay, so there's a lot of developers in our group at OpenConf, people that follow us, and would like to learn more about the technologies behind mobile networks and have maybe a career opportunity on that field. What would you advise them to do if they are interested in that area?
What I would say, and I didn't have it much, and maybe it worked, maybe it helped, maybe it didn't help, because my whole career has been based on actually, I would say it, to an extent, has been based on luck, right? Doing some things, or on destiny, whatever you want to describe it.
Yes.
So one thing I didn't have, and I think is useful, is if you're interested in a particular domain, and you can get a lot of information on the internet, social media work as well about your domain, is if you can find people who have done and are currently doing what you're interested in and talk to them. So there could be people, we're talking about Greece specifically. There could be people living in Greece who want to stay in Greece. Maybe they want to go to a foreign country. If possible, find the people that have done something similar with what the young guys are interested in, and then get the information, and always use the information with a pinch of salt, right? At the end of the day, it's a subjective opinion, but it can help. I think it's important to share the experiences, and people can make an informed decision, perhaps. Maybe as many of my friends will choose to, and colleagues will choose to stay in mobile telecoms, maybe they're going to be more interested in the big money in other domains. I don't know, right?
Okay.
Software development is a good place, and I would say that telecoms is a good place as well. But I'm biased.
Okay, so closing, would like to hear a few words about your speech to get a feeling of what you're going to talk about at the event. So would you like to tell us a few things about that?
Yeah, so it's really based on my experience throughout the years, and if you see, there are some themes, if you want, or concepts that come up a lot. So network simulation has come up a lot in my professional life, and even the research as well. At the end of the day, that's what we do. I used to joke in the past when they asked me what I do, and say I do modeling. It didn't always work as a line. So that's what my presentation will be based on, that part, network simulation, how you can use it to do things, and it's related to digital twins or digital replicas, as I sometimes say, and how we can make the best use of simulation. And there are many errors that people make, that I've made as well in the past. So I'm looking particularly at mobile telecoms, but similar things could happen in other domains where software development is relevant. And simulation, I think it has many connotations, but let's say network simulation for purposes of planning, optimization, predicting network performance has many benefits. And as I said, at some point, I wrote a white paper many years ago. It can be even better than the real thing. So, that's more or less it, right?
That's a big statement, though, right? Especially
It's
with
based,
Metaverse closing.
yes, exactly. Yeah. It's based on a song by, maybe the younger people don't know,
Yes,
but it's from
even
you.
better
Yeah,
than the everything. Yes,
from you too.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, great song. Yeah, excellent, excellent. This, I mean, I'm looking even more forward to your speech at the event,
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate your time today with us. We really had a great time listening to you. Very interesting topics. So everyone, let's looking forward to see you at the event at OpenConf
Me too.
2022, December 2nd and 3rd. And of course, Konstantinos, looking forward to see you there and listen to your speech and hopefully have some time afterwards to discuss more about these interesting topics. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. And I look forward to meeting you as well, and the rest of the team, the rest of the guys, and everybody who's going to be at the event, whether, even virtually, right? Because we're going to meet
Yes,
those guys
of
too,
course.
right? Online. So,
Excellent.
looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.